Hello and welcome to Mischief Makers Podcast. I am your host, Chris Lanceley, a 7.5-year veteran of the Play That Goes Wrong here in New York City. And on this season of the podcast, we are celebrating the 9.5 ongoing plus years of the Play That Goes Wrong in New York City. My two guests today are Lilian and Austin Gray, who were the original head props and head carp for the off-Broadway production. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So today we're going to be talking about all things behind the flats, behind the stage. I hope you enjoy. So how did you guys get involved with the Play That Goes Wrong? Did someone call you? Because I know, I audition, and then, I fail usually, and then, not with this one. But does someone call you and say, hey, we need a head carp, hey, we need someone to look after props?
For me, on this one, I applied online. There was a listing on playbill.com, and I was just about to close the show, and I was like, well, I need to be employed. Oh, this looks like a good gig as any other.
Yeah.
So I applied, did an interview, I think on the first day of load-in, so I got to see the stage completely bare, which I haven't seen since then.
Nope.
And then the rest is history. Here we are.
Yeah, amazing. Austin?
I was, after tech, they had a load-in carpenter during tech, and then after tech, I got asked to come in and take over for the show after they were going to move on.
Who were going to move on? The previous head carp?
The previous person that was in the automation role.
Oh,
so they
okay.
came in, and once they left, I took over.
Right. That's always confusing. So you're the head carp?
I wasn't the head carp when I started.
Okay.
There were two. There's two carp. There's a deck 1 and a deck 2.
Okay.
The deck 1 was the head carpenter. He was running pyro, and then he left about maybe 6 months to 8 months.
Was that Danny? Was that
Danny?
Yeah,
A
Danny.
couple months in.
He left in, and then when he left, I had seniority for that, so I just took over the role.
Right. So I'm still confused. Like head carpenter, I never saw you do any carpentry.
It was all behind the scenes.
So I missed all of
It's
that.
all off hours.
Yeah,
You know those hours
Yes.
when
when
you're
I'm not there. That's
theater.
Wednesdays, right? Wednesday afternoons. All right, fair enough. Yeah. And the automation, that's the second part of the role?
Yeah, the first deck was pyro, the second deck was automation.
Okay, and that includes things like the platform. If we're allowed to talk about that, I think we are.
The drops.
The drops, of the curtain rails, planks, things like that.
Yeah.
All the really dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The electromagnets.
The electromagnets. I swear I've been told at some point not to talk about that too. I don't know. Yeah.
No one ever made us sign anything.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. And this podcast is, the Mischief podcast.
It's up to them.
Yeah, they can tell me afterwards. Brilliant. Did you know what you were getting yourself into?
No.
No. And for those who can't tell, Lilian just leant into the microphone to say that.
It was a really tough tech process because so it was the first time I'd ever been a part of rehearsal. So my first day was the actor's first day, and we were all on set, which we were very lucky to. And no one who was a technician or stage management backstage knew how the show went. None of us had seen the show. So there was a lot of us going through old paperwork from Broadway going, it says the window falls, but how does that happen?
Right.
And just wandering around while the actors are trying to learn the book of the show. And so we were trying to learn the tech of the show. It was very, previews was fun in terms of there was just a lot of things we learned for the first time ever. And there was no one to tell us, well, this is how we did it before to fix it.
That's great.
I remember you telling me a story of you guys just walking around the back of set being like, oh, there's this piece of wood that's attached to a string.
This
oh,
piece
that's
of wood
what this
is on
for.
a hinge. I wonder what it does. I wonder what goes on it.
That's for the window.
Yeah.
You have to keep the window.
Or that one of the
yeah, we know that
naps.
now.
Oh yeah, there's the nap for when Max hits his head gets his head hit on the window. There's a piece of wood with a string tied around it on a hinge backstage that is the sound makes the sound of his head hitting the windowsill. But we didn't know what that was. So for the first couple weeks of shows, our Sandra at the time, Ashley Reyes, army crawled behind the upper platform window and used a different napper to hit the wall there because we had literally no idea what that piece of wood was. And we were like, well, that can make a sound. And then like at a rehearsal, Mark Evans was like, what's that?
He was in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
show
Mark
on
Evans goes,
Broadway.
"What's that?" And we like untie it, and we go, "Oh,
It's a little slapstick.
It's a little slapstick.
It's quite
built
big,
into
actually.
The set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Sandra still has to army crawl into
She's
that
just
position.
Got to army
Yeah.
crawl a different way, and doesn't have to
funny.
get handed a piece of wood.
I'm stood right by the window in that scene. It's when it's a spoiler. When when Trevor plays his Duran Duran for the first time, and I'm stood there as Chris being very annoyed, and out the corner of my eye every single night I see Sandra crawling to that slapstick through the curtain. Yeah, it's great. Austin, did you have a clue what kind of dangerous scenario you were walking into?
When they just told me this show is a little crazy. There's a bunch
A
of things,
little crazy.
Yeah, a little crazy. A bunch of things that they told me that everything falls down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then when I came and saw the show before I ended up taking over, I was like, oh, there's a lot more than what they originally told me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I remember when we went out on tour, the stage manager, Michael Danick, he took the job because he was like, I'll play. There's only 8 people in the cast. Amazing, I'll do that. This is easier than doing calling a musical on tour. No. Nope. He regretted that decision. He loved it, had a great time, but regretted that. I think you touched on how kind of janky the set looks like from the back for a Tony-winning set. Did the fact that the set had won a Tony, were you aware of that? Did that add pressure to what you were doing at the time?
I mean, I knew it had won a Tony, but that doesn't mean much in my world.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think what the crazy part for us, or I think for both of us, was that it came from Broadway. It came from. It wasn't a London one, was it?
It was built in the UK.
It was definitely built in the UK.
And sent to Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it closed on Broadway, a couple days later, it was sent down to
like a week later
to New World,
right?
And installed. I think they shifted a couple of walls.
Yeah.
But the hardest part for us, I think, is the fact that it's metric.
Yeah, everything on the set was metric. All the automation was not like common U.S. automation,
Which I was used to. Yeah.
Even the chandelier was wired for British power, and then Broadway just kept it that way. So then when it came to off-Broadway, our electricians went, we can't do this. So they rewired it all.
It sounds like a skill issue to me.
Broadway, I guess Broadway was like, we can make that work, and they did.
Yeah.
So the set came with an entirely sensible and usable measurement system, and then you had to turn it to Imperial.
Well, now the set is this horrible amalgamation of both.
Yeah.
Because it's been many years.
It's a horrible. Now it's it's the ship of Theseus. It's like, what part of the set is it still the Tony-winning set if everything has been replaced and changed and broken at some point?
I mean,
I can't think of any. I mean, I guess the original framework, the metal framework, is still the same.
The metal framework is still the same.
The platform's probably still the same.
Most of the walls are still the same. We've only replaced 1 or 2 of them.
The
fireplace.
I punched through the wall yesterday.
What one?
How?
The wall above the fireplace. I guess for months, maybe years, going from the 4th loop at the end of Act 1 into the 5th loop at the end of Act 1. We're suspended there waiting to see if Dennis gets his line right. And when he inevitably doesn't, I have been turning and hitting the wall. And it turns out through the months and years, I have weakened that enough to the point where I just punched through it yesterday. Yeah. That's kind of, I'm given that I'm leaving in July.
I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah. I don't think anyone has thus far. I think it's fine.
It's just a
it's
little.
fine. The curtain's still,
dented.
the wallpaper's still there covering it from the outside. So it's
everyone's
fine.
going to know now.
It's kind of like, I'm
now,
kind of proud of it.
Now people are going to look for it.
Oh, yeah, everyone's going to know. Yeah, everyone's going to look for that little dip.
Come see the play that goes wrong to look for the dent that that Chris punched into the wall, guys.
Yeah, a little redesign. That's what I'm calling it. It was actually the next thing on my list to chat with you guys about was the fact that it was created in the US and utilized here. I was going to ask you how much of that original stuff is still there and what has changed. I kind of know how much has changed, but are there any ongoing issues that you're aware of? I know neither of you have worked on the show for a few years now in a full-time capacity. But do you know of any like ongoing issues with that kind of conversion?
Honestly, I think a lot of that got ironed out
Yeah.
during our tenure there. Like things like the automation ended up getting replaced to be an American system that is much more easily accessible here.
Right.
Yeah, including stuff like sourcing the voice pipes was the source was getting it sent from the UK for a couple years, and then finally
The
we
door
were like,
handles.
"This is ridiculous."
Yeah.
Yeah, the door handles they kept breaking, and then they
had
were
to
like,
be the specific Gregorian door
and
handle.
I would have to email the set designer Nigel Hook, and he would go to his local like grocery that had that specific door handle.
His grocery store.
Yeah, his like local grocery / hardware, and he
That's a great combo.
And he would, and half the time it would be his partner sending it to me.
Right.
They would mail it to me, so there would be like a month-long process of getting this door handle. Then finally we were like, enough.
Yeah.
We've had it.
I know that you worked on you created and built a lot of the voice pipes and that sort of thing. Kind of a molding setup backstage.
Well, really, Kate Mulhauser, who was my great assistant props at the time, she is the one who molded. I essentially commissioned her. I was like, "You have these skills. I know you do.
Mm-hmm.
Please, let's make this so we just make it in house."
Yeah.
Now Kate makes them out of house. She is also no longer with the Play That Goes Wrong.
In the outhouse.
They hire her now to make the voice pipes.
In the outhouse.
Yeah,
it's really terrible work
that
conditions.
That is her apartment.
I mean, she used to make them up in that scary hallway.
Yeah, there's that horrible staircase. That was Kate's little chemistry lab.
The emergency exit from the theater.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
One of them.
One of them. Yeah. The one that we use.
Yeah.
We've only, I think, used it 2 or 3 times.
It's fine. We never
fine.
had to go up.
Fine. No. We had a manhole cover explosion or something in week 1.
That was good.
We had another one recently where some door was left open somewhere and the fire alarm was set off. Everyone was safe, but we had to evacuate.
There was one time a show in the building was letting off they were testing their pyro in an emergency hallway, and that set off in the loading dock, and that set off.
Name and shame?
It was the Rock of Ages.
That's good. Glad we did that. So one thing about the show and its longevity, I think, that has really contributed is the regional productions of the show that are going up, the high school productions of the show that are going up. I kind of envision this episode a little bit as advice, almost something that maybe people could listen to and think, how on earth are we going to put this show up? Do you have any advice for people who are doing this show?
There is a fun little Facebook group.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
I can't. What is it? Do you remember? What it's called?
The Play That Goes Wrong production advice, I think. Something like that.
And a lot of regional and high school productions are on it, and a lot of them sell their sets. That's first advices.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of reuse, reduce, recycle.
Mm-hmm.
Buy other sets. But honestly, so long as you are always thinking of the safety of your actors first, no matter what. The jokes will come. The show is funny on its own, regardless.
Yeah.
So long as your actors are safe, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
There's like so many.
I concur.
There's so many different ways of making like the platform fall.
Yeah.
And I've seen all these different ways on that Facebook group. So it's like
counterweight systems.
Systems. Some people do like hook and lock systems.
Some people pull it down.
Some people just go, good luck.
Yep.
Yeah.
But honestly,
safety of your actors.
Because like everybody also has different resources, right? So it's like you can do what you can with your company as long as your actor on that platform or whatever the gag is going to be safe doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. That is the most important thing. Was that like top of your minds when you were working at the show?
Yeah, it was crazy because they were like, well, we drop all these walls and you drop an 80-pound chandelier from the grid over an actor who at the time was you when I first did it.
Yeah.
And it was very much like, it goes against every instinct you have as a technician to drop things while actors are on stage like that. Huge set pieces.
Right.
Every part of you is going, don't do this. This is bad. And it takes a long time to train yourself out of that to run the show properly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like we used to talk about all the time is how like even though the crew is not part of we're still part of the set, it's part of the cast.
Yeah.
Because of how much moving parts there are and everything. And like dropping stuff like that and like making sure that you guys are safe no matter what. Like, I mean, how many times have we changed like to have like random shows where we don't have this thing because we can't do this, or the door fell off the hinge, so we have to then go through and do all these things. Like, it was always safety was always the number one concern for us. Like
especially because the show, it keeps you on your toes. There's always something new that happens that is like something you've never experienced before, and all of a sudden you have to think of a different contingency for that very specific happenstance that may or may not happen again. It might just happen a bunch in 1 week and never happen again.
Right. Yeah. Over my 7.5 years with the show, I've seen a lot of first times and then never again, or 10 times in a week and then never again.
Was it you or Matt Harrington that like hit his head that
was Matt.
That was Matt.
Like that one time, and then just sat up there while it was like.
Yeah, this is when Chris Bean gets stuck halfway up in the lift elevator, and it involves some acrobatics from the Bean actor to kind of jump up on the platform quickly. Matt, who was my predecessor in the role of Bean, managed to find like a single bolt
after like
elevated bolt.
2 years of him doing the show.
Yeah, and the other day I was running into the elevator and took a step slightly funny and bounced off the side, caught my head off something. Thankfully, I didn't get it bad enough, but I had no idea that was there at head height, whatever it was that I hit. Yeah, there's always a nice surprise within that set, and we're always finding them years down the line. I was talking with the stage managers about our contingency list that is going on 15 plus pages now. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's so important about this show is we all know what to do if things aren't going wrong right.
Yeah.
If things on stage aren't behaving the way we need them to. And that, I feel, is when the crew and the cast and stage management are in lockstep. I mean, we always are, but we're really dialed in when that kind of thing happens.
It never feels as like, oh, we all know what we're doing, as much as when like something goes wrong and we are not holding the show, we are just pivoting to one of our contingencies, and all of a sudden we're all like locked in together.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the gifts with this show. I feel like you do have the capacity to cover for mistakes because of the nature of the show, but that's so much. Why are you laughing?
How many times, like, though, just like going out with a ladder?
You're bringing that up. I was maybe wondering if I was going to avoid that on your birthday. Walk us through your birthday, however many years ago, when we had to hold the show for a curtain not falling. Just in detail.
Yeah. Oh, we don't need to recount.
Please.
So sometimes the curtains wouldn't fall, and I walked out on stage and to do it, and it happened to be my birthday.
And we were holding the show. The stage manager came on.
When the
curtain
doesn't fall and the automation has moved, it's usually because it is stuck on the wall, but it means it's loose above head height. It could fall at any moment. So it could fall at any moment, and it is a metal piece.
It's a heavy metal piece to make it so it falls down. Mm-hmm. So I brought out a ladder, and then was it Harrington or was it Harrington?
Yeah, this is top of act 2. So
everyone's
Chris Bean's on stage, Annie's on stage, Robert's on stage, Dennis is on stage.
So they all ended up singing "Happy Birthday" to me.
While he's on the top of a 15-foot ladder.
While I'm actively working, trying to get down. Yeah.
How was your belt that day?
It was. I had my
What
AirPod.
belt?
What belt? Yeah.
I had a belt on, and I had an AirPod in my ear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why am I asking about the belt?
Because my pants may have slid down a little bit.
We call that builder's bum in the UK.
Yeah, builder's bum.
Is that what it's called here?
What, plumber's crack here?
Plumber's crack, yeah.
There it is. This feels like the perfect time to segue into the commercial break. Also, I'm looking at the clock and it says 20 minutes, so that's the other reason. But also, I've been going into the break with a mischievous question.
Oh.
Yes. This is the first one that I feel is kind of truly mischievous.
Okay.
So good luck. If you could choose a single actor that you have worked with on the play that goes wrong, and the new rule for them is that they have to repair any damage they do to the set or a prop themselves, which actor do you force to do that? In fact, let's do a top 3.
Top 3 between the two?
Top 3.
Okay.
Between the two of you, which 3 actors do you want to force to repair their own damages, and why?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think Harrington has to be up there.
Harrington, who played Chris Bean,
Yeah.
he would break things a lot.
I feel Jesse Aronson as Max
Yeah.
was quite forceful and would throw his body quite a bit.
Michael
I
Thatcher.
remember that. Yeah. Michael Thatcher, who played
Yes.
Robert
Who
on
Broke
National-
everything on the platform.
He played Robert for a couple of weeks, and everything was broken.
He
every
did.
Time. Yeah.
He was so strong, and he broke multiple chairs. Definitely broke the desk once. Yeah, actually, Michael Thatcher #1.
Michael Thatcher, #1. He was he was understudy for Robert on the first national tour. On the second national tour,
Yeah.
he played the role of Robert along with me as Chris Bean. And then he stepped in for 2 weeks
Yeah.
to cover when we needed someone to cover the role.
Every
And
day.
broke
and broke
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
And in your world now, would have repaired everything afterwards, probably quite badly, actually. So he's #1.
Yeah.
Who's
for
number
sure.
2? Matt Harrington. What did he break?
I feel like
he
the
mostly
Beans
just broke
don't
himself.
normally break things.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
broke
they just
himself,
break.
yeah.
Beans normally break themselves.
I did punch a hole through the wall,
Yeah.
but
Well.
yeah,
Got a couple.
I'm trying to think.
magnifying glass. He would break the magnifying glass sometimes.
That's true. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, a couple door kicks, door breaks.
That
Oh yeah,
was
Jonathan's kicking panels out the
Jonathan
door.
Clyde.
Yes.
Clyde.
Clyde #1. He was the first one to ever do it, and it only I think it's only happened one other time.
And he kicked his foot clean through the door.
Yep.
Like he kicked a whole panel out of
It
that
happened
door.
recently. Chris
It
French
did.
has done it too, and so
Yes.
recently Jake, who was in it's kind of a vacation swing,
Yes.
his first performance, he kicked through,
sure
kicked a
did.
panel out of the door. Yeah, he definitely did. We can't put Jake on there because
No,
you
he's-
guys never worked with him. I thought Brent would be on there, who is the
Yeah.
full-time Robert off Broadway.
Shockingly, Brent doesn't break
He's a gentle
furniture.
giant.
He's
Yeah.
I think he has been doing the show so long and doing those actions for long. He has honed his body to perfectly move those items in a way that doesn't do anything to them.
I've seen him
It's
take some
incredible.
wheels off the globe before.
Well,
but,
that might be the fault of the globe, though.
yeah, that might be the fault of the globe. You know what's funny? I always mention this. I had that exact globe in my apartment for years, and it wasn't even mine. It was my wife's. It was in her old apartment, and it was just sitting there in our living room for years. And it was weird going from the set where that exact same globe is there and going home for it. It is the current globe now in the play that goes wrong.
Your home.
I donated it. I didn't want it anymore, and I donated it.
And you
now,
went,
now
"Well."
it's on the set.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah,
Keeping it in the family.
keeping it in the family. All right, welcome back. We're still here with Austin Gray and Lilian Sun, and we're talking about the play that goes wrong from a behind the stage situation, behind the stage perspective. I asked before about regional productions. I'm curious if they ever reach out to you directly with questions, or if you've ever
You've
had a
gotten
direct.
reached out to.
So my college that I went to, Rider University, actually reached out to me when they did it. But my technical director is fantastic, but he's like, just a couple questions about like some things, and that was like it was like answering like, things about the platform and stuff.
Right,
like that.
right.
But yeah, it was like some small stuff, and then I've answered a couple questions on the Facebook page of people asking things where it's like, "What do you do for this?" or whatever. So
I was going to ask if you contribute to that Facebook group.
I haven't in years now, but when I was
Yeah.
actively working on it, and people again have reached out to me like for some small questions.
Have you ever had a situation where you've had to have a last minute crazy speedy backstage fix to a prop or a set piece right before we go on, or is that kind of just a situation where we would stop for safety?
I mean, I got to a point during intermission where I could swap a door out in 10 minutes. Like we would swap an entire door or swap an entire door handle out in 10 minutes of the intermission.
We also were like when I was there, we were pretty well like stocked on backup. So if
Right.
someone came off and they were like, "This is broken," I'd be like, "Oh, grab the backup. Let's just throw that on. We'll live." Or just put in a new one because we have it ready. Or
How many backups do you have on hand?
I tried to at least have one of at least not of like big furniture pieces, but we had a couple extra chairs.
Yeah.
We had at least something I could grab. Mostly during the show that we could just go run and grab, and some of it was under the deck though, but you know,
Yeah.
stored
that's-
under the deck.
yeah.
Oh, there was one time, Austin, where you didn't set the plank.
I did, and then we had to crawl under, and me and Aaron Ammett, who was the pyro, had to crawl under the deck and set it by hand.
During Act
During
1.
Act 1?
During Act 1.
During Act 1.
Wow.
While the actors were on stage.
Yeah.
No one knew it was happening, except we did have a giant hole in the hallway that I was just standing over, so no actors would just like walk through and step into it.
Although that would have been hilarious.
No.
No, probably not. Okay, fine. Depends who it was.
But then the army crawled down there and sort of just picked up the weight and hooked it all up on their backs.
How
like
long
Mission
before it
Impossible.
actually happened? I bet it was just like Mission Impossible.
It was like there's a video that I could put Mission Impossible music to that was very funny.
I'd like to see that.
I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
Well, it was we realized it because I had a camera on my desk that had it. I got a picture of it because sometimes it would malfunction, and we wanted to always be able to see it malfunction so we can know if it was a operator error or a mechanical error.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I was like, that's not set. And both of us like look because it's partly both of us that have to like make sure it's done. And we both like turned and looked at each other and we're like, I guess we can crawl under and do it. So we ended up crawling under and like physically, it's like a 50-pound weight, and I physically lifted it up and
On your back.
on my back.
You're just bragging.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Aaron hooked it in.
Yeah. There were rumors that you lived under the deck. Were they?
There is a picture of me under the deck when we came back from COVID.
Because you've been staying there.
Yeah, covered in sugar glass
And,
and fake blood and newspaper.
Yeah.
There was
that's just how you live your life, Austin.
there was one time we walled Aaron into the deck during a rehearsal because everyone was so panicked about getting back and doing the rehearsal. We kind of forgot he was under there. So we closed the trap and put the planks back over it. And then Aaron just texts us going, "Hey guys, I'm down here."
This is the real life example of Trevor being stuck in the car on stage. I love
And we
that.
were like, "Oh, can you stay down there till the next break?"
This is really going off the rails right now. I love it. And that leads me into the next question I have written down, which I thought I was going to skip, but since we're in the place that we are, do you find Trevor insulting as a character?
It's like a little cathartic because, like, I wish I could be like that.
Yeah,
Just not
that
care.
carefree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go through life with so little cares in the world, just Duran on the brain.
Yeah, just Duran on the brain. Yeah, girls on film. Yeah, constantly.
He's booked. So
Yeah, he's booked and blessed.
Exactly.
Good old Trevor. I don't know for how long though.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. How about you, Austin? You find him? Would you
I-
play him? Like, if let's say there's a last minute, there's an emergency, we don't have a Trevor actor. Would you go
I
on?
wouldn't put it past them to ask.
No,
what
neither
else
would
to do. I guess that's the easiest one, and I could do the little dance there.
So you were also crew head, Austin, right? When you were there,
Yes.
Lilian's laughing. So you were a bad crew head.
I was a good crew head. Lilian helped out.
he was a good crew head. I
Lilian
just
helped
did
me
a
a
lot
lot.
of paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were crew head, Lilian. How was that?
No, we kind of both took the mantle
yeah.
up. It was a lot. It was a lot to deal
that's
with.
a play that goes wrong joke. Took the mantle up. This is a very niche podcast.
Yeah.
People are listening to this.
That's fair. They
yeah,
would
they're
know.
rolling
It's
on the
true,
floor
it's
right
true.
now.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Thanks, Austin.
Yeah, I think like what was the question?
Well, it's,
You're a bad
let me
crew
kind of
head. That way.
recontextualize that. One thing I never, because I played Jonathan first, and then I played Chris Bean on the tour, and then I came back off Broadway and was Jonathan again because the pandemic intervened, and then I was Chris again within like a year, and then Robert for a little bit when Brent was playing Santa at Radio City.
Yeah.
But one thing I didn't really think about, like Chris Bean, maybe in a traditional show he'd be a lead role because he's got the most lines, he's on the stage the most. But what I hadn't considered is that it's kind of a leadership role as well, right? Like within the dressing room, and there's an element of you do a lot and you kind of set the tone. Is that similar with a crew head situation? Did you feel like a leadership thing with that? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's bits and pieces of that, like where you're leading the crew, you're the one that stage management comes to. Like both me and Lily were heads, so Lily was head props and I was head carpenter. Yeah, so they would come to us, but it ended up being like
Okay.
get a little sentimental. No. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess
Being head, being a leader, it does affect your crew, because if there are any issues, if there are any things that come up, if you're not leading with assuredness or confidence, your crew then doesn't have any trust in you.
Right.
And that sort of trickles all the way down. And then like even the actors can tell when like the crew isn't sure of themselves or aren't confident or anything like that. So leading does matter, but it's mostly just like being able to have your crews back and being able to be a bridge between management and the crew or whatever is needed. When
you say management, is that like general management?
Yeah,
kind of,
general
or stage
management, stage management, any management, company management. Yeah, literally production management. There's so much management above us.
Management. Yeah.
That there's just like always things, because when Austin left the show before I did, so when he left, I did take over officially as crew head. So it's just like.
Because she was already doing all the paperwork.
Yeah, because I was doing all the paperwork.
Not your forte, Austin.
No. It is now.
It matters a lot that your crew trusts you as the head of the crew. Otherwise, there's a lot of infighting that could happen.
And that really becomes important, like super important, when we have those contingency situations. I've noticed, like especially on the stage, when things like that happen. I've had that happen when there have been people who have only been in the show for a few weeks or a few months, and they're like, oh, I've never been in this scenario. What am I going to do? And that's when, like, being a veteran, being someone who's been in the show for a while, that's where that helps. And it's great playing Chris Bean, because you can just direct people around the stage and say, you go there, that's what needs to happen. Stop doing that, whatever. But then that kind of leadership element of it comes into the fore. So I imagine that's the same with you guys as well, and setting the tone and
yeah, especially because we have like in a different way than actors, we have like lots of crew subs that come in, but like unlike actors, they're not at the show full time, so things will change or the contingencies will change and whatever. And so as long as you're the department head or you're the one that's there taking lead, you can be able to like make sure everyone is doing what they need to be doing, because there's a lot of like in our contingency paperwork where it's like, Deck 1 does this, Deck 2 does nothing, and the does nothing is just as important, because it means you're not getting in the way of whatever the fix is. And it's like, if you know that, then you could be like, you stay there, just stay there. I'll go deal with it. And then it's, then it goes smoothly.
Great. All right, let's get away from all the miserable things going badly and all of that stuff. Do you have any souvenirs from the show? Have you kept anything? Like with a focus on things that you shouldn't have kept. I'd like to hear about that first.
I have a couple door handles.
A couple of door handles.
Yeah.
I have a Winston portrait.
I was going
to say, you have a Winston portrait.
Is it hanging in your place?
It used to be. I moved.
They're really big.
Yeah, they are really big, aren't they?
They're really big.
And not the most attractive things.
It is just...
The frames are pretty battered.
Yeah. I just have the canvas.
Oh, just the canvas.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the wood gets pretty splintered and bad, and we don't keep those.
As I've noticed, I pick that up every night off the deck. Yeah. Splinters. We all get a lot of splinters from that set.
We've sent away. This is like more sanctioned things we've given away, but like candlesticks, when they break and they are irreparable, those end up going to a home, whether it's with us or someone else.
Yeah. Or like Broadway Cares, often we'll auction those kind of things.
Voice pipes go to Broadway Cares.
Yeah, they're easily broken.
Yeah, they're very easily broken and easily made. So
yeah.
Didn't we send stuff to the Broadway Museum too?
We did send stuff to the Broadway
portrait.
Museum.
Oh no, that was a Museum of the Dog.
They have a will and testament. They have a old white spirit, actually one from the UK that just like traveled with the show.
Right.
They have a what's the word? A sugar glass vase that had broken on transit, so they got like shards of it in the little display. I think they have a magnifying glass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a cute little window.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's nice to know. I'd actually not been to the Broadway Museum. I should go see that. I have a few hours before the show after this. I should go.
Literally,
it's not far.
We're
right by it
right now.
Oh, which is so relevant to our listeners. It's like, oh, good for you guys. The other question I have is, did you ever go shopping for props, like a legitimate store, or is everything custom made for the show?
We have a lot of just common things, towels, saran wrap for the blood packs.
Right.
Stuff like that we go shopping for. There was a while we were coke mopping the deck.
Yeah.
So we'd have to pick up coke on the way in.
Yeah. Well,
Stuff like that.
why do we coke mop the deck? Or did we? We don't do that anymore.
It's-
But
We don't do it anymore.
what's
Coke
the purpose of
Coke
that?
is corrosive,
Yeah.
but we do a Coke and water mixture, and it makes the deck a little bit sticky, which in our world of the play that goes wrong is very useful.
It's an old like ballet trick that
Yeah.
I was taught in college, like to add it doesn't have to be Coke, it could be something like just sugary that adds a little bit of
Other products are
stickiness.
available.
Yeah.
I think we're fine.
Yeah, but it like I think there was time where we used like Caro syrup and stuff
Yeah.
like to just make it stickier, and then we ended up
Because with all the water on the stage, it's,
Yeah.
it is a slippy
It is a slippy
situation.
yeah.
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 Well,
Now we use a real paint additive, like
Yeah.
real people.
Yeah.
oh, great! like a real grown-up
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
We got there.
Yeah.
I guess that's what that extra 9 years brings us.
Yeah.
For the play that goes wrong. Did you find when you were at the show that it kind of all of this being aware of being responsible for people's safety and the fact that it is a show that does fall apart every night and you have to put it back together again, and that being so against the instincts of what you are actually doing, was there an emotional toll that went along with the show?
Yeah.
Every yeah.
I think that the fact that you have to build, again, like Lilian said earlier, a lot of these things go against our like instinct as technicians. To fix a set that has to break, sometimes you're like, how do I do this? Like, how do I make it so it's functional enough to fall down and break, but then also it is repaired enough to be able to be safe to use. I think sometimes it was like there was some times where you get like, I think we all got a little frustrated at it sometimes, but sometimes you just got to do it and just make it so you can do a temporary fix for the time being, make it safe enough to be able to be used so that you guys are safe, and then we would come in the next day early in the morning or whatever before the show to like make a permanent fix for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like really the most like emotional toll part of it was like if something did go wrong and like someone did get hurt, because that has happened. The first time I dropped the chandelier, I mean, you got bruised because it hit the deck and bounced back and hit you in the shins. I remember
I think
that.
it was that I was pushing my foot so hard into the flat that was on the ground. I think the flat bounced up and landed on my foot.
Yeah, because the chandelier is not supposed to hit the deck straight away.
It did
we learned.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happened. Sometimes it was just a little knot in the.
It would get caught.
Yeah, the rope had wound back on itself.
But
or something.
so long as it wasn't hurting someone, I'd be like,
Yeah.
whatever, a technical issue is a technical issue. But then, like, the time the wall fell and it scraped the back of Bianca's legs, or when you were on the truss and ripped your abdomen.
Yeah.
You know, it's like part like technically it's not really my fault, but also I'm controlling the thing that you're
Right.
on that swings and you've hurt yourself, and that's like something you have to contend with, to be like, well, I know it's technically not my fault, but I was still there
Yeah.
and a part of it.
That's something I've become hyper aware of actually as time's gone by. When something does happen related to the set or a prop or something, to kind of check in and have a conversation with the person that's involved in that, because as you say, it's not their fault. But when it's a mystery, then I can imagine you'll feel responsible and feel guilty about it. So I think I've made it a point. I think others have as well, to kind of check in after things like that and make sure everyone's on the same page, that it's just a freak accident or something like that, and nobody's to blame or being blamed. So I'm glad you mentioned that actually, because it's good to know that that's actually worthwhile and something that's
Absolutely, yeah.
helpful to be doing. Because it also keeps, we talked about that relationship between crew and cast and everyone else, it also keeps that conversation open. Because I have noticed through the years that if that conversation, and it happens when new crew members come in, new cast members come in, and we're all not introduced to each other or whatever, and we take time to get to know each other, then that relationship, not having that relationship can harm the show or harm individuals kind of mentally or whatever. So as you talk about this, I'm like, okay, maybe this is something we should all talk about, and going forward, this should actually be something we should.
I mean, on this show specifically, I think it's really important for everyone to be able to have that open dialogue, because it's so intertwined. Like,
right.
You're writing a thing that I'm controlling.
Yeah.
Someone's on a platform that Austin would push a button for. So it's like, if we're all on the same page together, the show goes beautifully.
Yeah.
Smoothly.
And there has to be a level of trust that you guys have with us. And
Right.
like, I think over the years, like as you built that friendship and trust up, we all coexisted together on that.
Mm-hmm. But equally through the years, as people move on and roles change and new people come in and cast shifts and changes, those relationships do the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important that we all check in with each other. And I'm like, and my mind's going, I should go to the theatre tonight and insist we all have a meeting with each other and do this sort of thing. But I mean, that's not it. But it's just, it reiterated to me how important that is. And, you know, I'm going to be telling my castmates that tonight. I have one final question for each of you. What have you, since you have been out of the show full time for a few years now, what did you learn on The Play That Goes Wrong that you've brought forward with you to, you know, your careers going forward? I mean, Lil, you're working on Broadway pretty regularly now. Austin, you're fine. So
no, he's the head of a theater.
what? I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
What theater is it?
Stage 42.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I did know that. So yeah, what have you learned that you brought forward?
I really like grew into myself a lot during the show. I was 25 when I started working it, so I like had done a couple of, you know, head carp gigs at the time, but this really was like, oh, I can do leadership and I can take charge of what I need to take charge of, and people do trust in that, in what I can do. So it's just made me a lot more confident going into all these new different theaters and different shows. And like, I work with so many new people now that I'm not at The Play That Goes Wrong, but I can know that because I have that confidence that I didn't kill anyone at The Play That Goes Wrong in the 5 years I was there.
Yeah.
You know, that like, I am a good technician and I can take that with me and be confident and not like be bad at my job.
Yeah. I relate to that because I think I was very green when I joined The Play That Goes Wrong, very nervous and anxious, and I think the same thing. It's just being given the opportunity to succeed continuously is so important for a career and for a confidence to bring forward into the next gig. I can do this. You know, the first big Broadway audition I went on after having a few years in The Play That Goes Wrong, I was like, I do deserve to be here.
Yeah.
I am good. I can hold it. You know, it's great. That's one thing the show's really given me as well. Austin?
Yeah, it's sort of the same thing. It's like I think that it's the thing that gave me was the confidence to be able to like to be a good carpenter, to fix things, and to like it sort of changes the way you think about a lot of stuff because of the complexity of the breaks, the repairs. Like you start to think about different ways to fix things, which I then take into when I'm a production carpenter or when I'm the head. Like I can use that information to sort of give it down to people to be able to, hey, let's do it this way and see what it does like this, or see if it works like this way, and sort of go from there. Yeah. I also the thing that I took from it is like that show was a group. Like all the fixes and everything was a group decision. It wasn't like it's just me going to fix this and I have to do it. It was a talk of like me, Lilian, Aaron, Kate. Like we all had the conversations of like, what's the best way to fix this and what's the best way to do that, which I've taken with me now. And like, I think it's always better to have someone else sort of not look over your work, but you always need that sort of support of someone to be like, well, if you do it this way, does it do this? And then if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you run a theatre.
Let
me do one I'm going to ask very quickly. A lot of people say to me as I leave the role of Chris Bean, as you know, now that you've done The Play That Goes Wrong, you will never have a harder show to do. You'll never have a bigger lift to do in a 2-hour stage play, whatever, than as Chris Bean. Do you feel the same? Was The Play That Goes Wrong excessively challenging from a crew perspective?
When the show ran well, it was very easy to run. Mm-hmm. But the hard part we always say, was keeping it up. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think no other show I've done since has had to have as much upkeep on the regular day-to-day as that one, as Play That Goes Wrong. So, yeah.
I think that says it.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lilian, Austin, I miss you so much backstage at The Play That Goes Wrong. Over the years, we became very good friends. Lilian, you looked after my cats.
I do.
And I yours.
Yes.
And What?
I looked
Austin,
up
you
your
took my
cats.
cats. When did you take my cats?
When you went on tour.
When I went on tour.
Oh yeah,
2019.
you had his cats.
You took Snowy and Stormy.
and Stormy.
Yeah. And we play video games regularly. Yeah. You introduced me to Hades, which I will forever be grateful to you for, Lilian. When I had a surgery, an injury I got in the show, you got me that to help me through my recovery. Yeah, I miss you both. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we see each other more outside of sitting in front of microphones. And now that I am free from the play, and we'll have a life until I am called back to to play Bean, Robert, or whoever.
Yes, of course.
The new Harrington.
Yes, the person who never leaves the theatre and just always comes back to visit and is there up until half hour just hanging out. And I hope you will do that with me. Yeah. Again, thank you so much. It's been a very enlightening episode, very different from what we've had before, so I appreciate that. And to those listening, I will see you on the next one.